Hey everybody, this is Mike here. I just wanted to share the story of how I met God. It was back almost 23 years ago. It was 23 years ago this Easter that I laid my life down and gave my life to Jesus. And a verse pops out is 2 Corinthians 5:17, where it says, "Therefore anyone in Christ is a new creation. The old is gone, the new has come." And that's a perfect story for anybody who's come to know Jesus. I just got out of prison. I did 7.5 years. Basically grew up incarcerated, and about a year after I came out of prison, I got invited to a church in Rowland Heights, and I heard the message of Jesus for the first time. What I mean is I heard it, it was internalized. And I can remember the preacher saying, wouldn't it be the best thing ever if you came to Jesus? You had a clean slate, a fresh beginning, a new start. And I wanted that, but I remember getting angry at him and folding my arms and really being upset that he was manipulating me. But when I left, I couldn't get it out of my mind. This idea of a new life, a fresh start, I needed that. That sounded great. And my mom had invited me to her church in Chino a few times. So I asked her if she was going to go to church on Easter Sunday, and she said yes. And I remember going to the church, and I didn't really remember the message. I just remember I wanted to go forward because I needed to respond somehow to that message that Jesus gave his life for me, went to the cross, died, and rose from the dead, and he wants to give me a new life. So in front of a few thousand people, I went forward, and I can remember crying for the very first time in decades. I was taught men don't cry, and I held it in no matter what, and I booger cried. I booger cried for quite a long time. And I can remember going to sleep that night, and it was one of the most peaceful sleeps I can ever remember having in my life. And immediately I began to tell people what God is doing in my life. I didn't know much, but I knew that something was different. He began to change my life. So within that first year, I began to share my story, and people would say, I need that too. And I got to see family and friends come to Jesus. And eventually I ended up being a youth pastor where I remained 18 years just sharing the gospel with young adults and high school and middle school students. And eventually, the adventure wasn't over. God called me back out to Los Angeles, to Echo Park, to start a church. And that's going on 4 years now, inside out Los Angeles. And my life is far from perfect. God's still working on my life. But I do know that he's made a significant difference in my life, that I am a different man, that I care for people. I look for ways to bless people. And it's been great seeing what he's doing. And he has broke the generational sin in my family. I have 2 great kids who are just doing great in life, and they're not perfect, but they're awesome human beings that care about people, and God has broke that generational curse. So I've been blessed to see that. So I want to encourage you to share your story. Take some time, take 3 minutes, share what God's done in your life. How did you come to him? How has he made a difference? God bless, and I hope you take the challenge.